What's up everybody? Welcome to the Unkey September update. In this video, we're going to be talking about features that we released, product usage, things that we saw, growth, and anything else that happened in the month of September. So let's start with the features that came out in September. The first thing we did was introduce our Hono SDK. It is a edge-ready, super fast web framework that works basically everywhere from Cloudflare Workers, Vercel, Bun, Dino, a bunch of other stuff. And essentially, we wanted to add this because we were fans of it and a couple of our customers were too. So essentially what we allow you to do is wrap using Unkey, and then you can decide how to deal with responses. So that was our first feature that came out. Please check it out if you're a Hono user. We would love some more feedback. Next up on our list of features was segmented verification analytics. So now instead of just having a bar that showed you, let's say, for example, all verifications, you can now actually see for an API if a key had been rate limited or usage exceeded, for example. And of course, you also get your successful verifications. So you can look at your charts and decide from there what's happening and see if there was an abuse vector or something else. On top of that, in our settings now for root keys, you can now look at the details of a root key and see the usage in the last 30 days with the key ID, and it will give you every time you've used it so that you can understand where the resource is being used from, how it's being used, and who by. I guess one of the big features that we should probably point out is that the entire dashboard has been redone, improved the UI and the UX. There's lots more features than there were when we originally released. For example, in your settings, you have things like your workspace key, you can rename stuff, you can add your personal avatar here, you can add email addresses, you can change your themes. Of course, if you're in your team, you can also make changes to the team itself. So for example, you can add people, you can remove them, you can give them admin roles. On top of that, in the general section, you can add a different workspace avatar. You can rename it. You can, of course, use your billing. You can see your usage. On top of that, we tried to make it as easy as possible. Let me just change back to a personal workspace here. We tried to make it as easy as possible to create keys now. So now you can add a prefix, bytes, owners, and names. And then under here, you can add your limited usage or your expiration, metadata, and of course, rate limiting, and then create your key. And then when you're looking at keys in general, under your keys tab here, you can look and see who the owner is, what the name is, and you can go to your specific details to see who and what has been used for this key. So you can see that this has been used 6 days ago with 1 total usage and 0 usage in the last 30 days. And you can see when I used it. Next up is our templates section. You can now find pre-built solutions based upon using Unkey. So for example, if you need Unkey and Clerk, you can click here and that will take you to the Unkey and Clerk project. If you need something like open status and you want to check that out, you can. Next.js boilerplate to get started super quickly. All of these features are available. You can find this at unkey.dev/templates. And if you have a template that you've built, you can add it via a PR, being completely open source. The next things that we need to talk about is product usage. So in the month of September, we saw over 350 users sign up for the platform. We also had our verification usage, which is actually the biggest part of Unkey, which is where we see the most growth. We saw that 6x from August. So it went from 25,000 verifications to 152,000 verifications in the month of September. On top of that, we did see some revenue growth where we added a couple of new customers who are willing to pay for the platform. And of course, the final update for Unkey is I am now officially full-time on Unkey. So now I work 9 to 5 on Unkey, bringing you all sorts of marketing material, as well as improvements to the product, talking to people about Unkey, getting feedback, and all that other stuff. So there you have it. This has been the September roundup for Unkey. I probably missed a few things, but I'll see you next month for another one.